Alright, this is an update video. It's been about 4.5 hours or so. And it says on the controller remaining time about 40 minutes. Basically there'll be a ring around here, still needs to be printed. You can see there that it's still printing. This piece will be glued to the back of this piece. So this is the part, this front part here, that's going to be glued to the other side, the table side of this part right there. And then when the two parts come together, they'll sit on top of this frame. Okay, it's slightly indented to give an indication of where this part will sit, to be centered on there properly. As always, I print using this. I use the tape for a reason. And most people say, oh, don't use the tape, blah, 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 blah. But I prefer not to heat the bed. I prefer not to do that. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. Just because the printer says you can heat the bed, I don't want to do it. I don't want to waste that time and energy heating the bed. And to show you here, it's non-heated bed. All my prints don't have a heated bed. There you go. That's the set point. Right there is 0. That means it's at room temperature. I don't have to smear a bunch of glue on here. You can see by doing it in this fashion, glue is not required. Glue is not required. I don't have to add glue. I don't have to take the glue off. That's a waste of time and effort. Okay? As I mentioned earlier, the tape here has more than one purpose. The obvious is you can see the line here. This is the skirt. And when that first layer goes down, you can actually see the contrast in color between the color of the filament and the blue, and it looks translucent. That, for me, as a user, is useful information. The fact that there's no raft, no brim, again, no messy glue to hold it to the bed, you know, and I assume that other beds, other means of a print surface require all of that. They require the glue, they require the brim, they require heat. I don't want to do all that. That takes too much time and effort away from actual printing. I've done over 3,500 STL files in this fashion and have never had the same issues that everybody else has. Alright? As you see here, this is different. This is different than everybody else is trained to do. Because this works. It's working right now. You know, I'm not making this stuff up. There's no curling, no separation of the print from the print surface, no finger crossing. I don't have to worry about crossing my fingers and hope this print sticks. There are 3 individual prints here, all happening at the same time. No stringing. You can see that for yourself. The basics of 3D printing is get filament from the spool to the table in the simplest, less complicated fashion. There's nothing complicated or overkill to get filament to the table. And this is the result. This is the filament getting from the spool to the table in a specific shape. That's what a 3D printer does. First, there's the spool. There's the filament going straight into the extruder. The extruder pulls filament and pushes filament at the same time. That's what it's for. It gets to the print head, right here. This is a moving head through a Bowden tube. This is filament delivery. This gets filament from way over there, takes the weight of direct drive off of the head, puts it over there to allow just what's required to get filament through the tube, through the hot end, and down to the table. Since I use this old school tramming tool. This is a feeler gauge. It doesn't cost anything, and I can have as many of these as I want. I don't need a feeler gauge. This is it. Okay, so basically the idea is A, the extruder, B, the delivery, and C, down to the table. Since I use the paper feeler gauge, I don't need an electronic gizmo, gadget, aftermarket gimmick to level the bed. Since my surface here is known to be flat near tile. It's known to be flat, otherwise it'd be a clown mirror. Okay? Since the table is flat all the way around, all the way across its surface, then an electronic sensor compensator is useless. Basically this, if you put the electronic thing here and you waste all that time checking this, checking that, moving around, all that effort, I've already started a print. Okay? And I've started a print that I know will finish properly. So avoid all of that, get it off, don't bother, go back to the Z stop switch. This is a sensor switch right here for the gantry. That sets the lowest level of the Z. This is the gantry. Use your paper, tram the bed, and I tram it on the tape here, not on the bed. I'm not printing out here. In fact, there's too much tape here. This was from another print early on. So basically all I need is enough tape right here for my purpose, and again, to visually see what's happening. It's not really meant for adhesion because I don't heat the bed anyway. So I don't have to heat it, I don't have to cool it, I don't have to deal with it. You can see it for yourself right now. I mean, I'm not hiding anything, I'm not making this stuff up. The springs are the same springs that came with the printer. Unbelievable. There they are. Because they work. Everybody says, oh, you know, it saved my life. You know, I went to silicone, went to yellow, blah, blah, blah. I've never seen a better print. Okay. Well, this is mine. This is my printer with what came in the box. And I don't think silicone springs is going to improve, or silicone chunks of rubber here is going to improve on that. So whatever reason you have issues is probably another problem, another issue that was caused by the changes that were made. The less changes, the less additions you do, the much easier troubleshooting is. Because there's only 1, 2, 3 things. Not changing it to a metal extruder, which has its own problems, and you can see that in help sites all the time. They're always complaining about something going wrong with the metal extruder. The plastic one here, if anything goes wrong with that, there's one thing that can be fixed very easily, and it has nothing to do with the body of the extruder. The lever, if it breaks, it's like $5, $3, takes 5 minutes to replace, and you're back to printing. For years, if not, you know, months, if not years. Because that arm, if you buy it from the factory, uninstalled, never used, it has never been under stress. Just replace it. That screw right there, take that one little screw out, right there, that one little screw, and replace it. Don't worry about anything else. Don't go, oh geez, I got a calibrator, it's chewing up my filament, or this or that, or whatever the hell it does. Anyway, I'm going to get back to printing. When this is done, again, I've got about, I don't know, about 30, 40 minutes, give or take. Then I'll start another print. I have to make 4 of these. This is number 1. I'm making 3 more. And again, in exactly the same way. Alright, thank you for watching.